What does it mean to have a meaningful life? To some, it means family, to others, a hobby or craft, and to some, meaning is found in knowing that you are understood and respected, that you are not labeled or defined by your disability. Welcome to the Columbus Organization's Meaningful Life series. In many ways, our lives begin as a blank canvas, longing to absorb the vibrant color, energy, and story told through our life experiences, the people we meet, the moments we treasure, the memories we create. But what does the painting look like for someone challenged by an intellectual or developmental disability? For Jeff, it is a masterpiece of hope, vision, and ever-increasing confidence. Jeff is an artist and an author, a gifted individual who can effortlessly communicate through pottery, drawing, and writing. This is Jeff's story.
The anxiety and the autism it affects everything. So with the autism, it's hard for him to communicate what he needs or wants, kind of like the rest of us do. When he was little, he couldn't talk at all. And so we just kind of had to read his mind almost, but just get used to it. And he couldn't understand what we were saying, so we would have to draw a picture, try to stick figures and try to explain to him. He could understand what he saw, but not what he heard, really. His seeing, his hearing, his smell, everything is way more dramatic than ours, and so he's way more sensitive to all those things. So it makes going places difficult. Certain restaurants, church, school was impossible for him.
Diagnosed with autism, Jeff has always been challenged by anxiety, particularly in large groups. At an early age, language came slowly to him, and his family was often faced with others saying he'll never be able to do this or that. Fortunately, Jeff's family thought otherwise. They saw someone with great potential, a young man who simply needed a loving support network that could discover his talent and give him an alternative way to communicate and feel comfortable in his own skin.
So when he was 2.5, he actually started drawing. When he was a little over 3, he had an accident, and so he lost a little bit of his finger, and he has always drawn with his pencil in his fist, which it's really amazing to watch him do that. And then when he was we would always say if he would do what someone else asked, he could illustrate a book, and never knowing that he was literally gathering all the information himself to write a book. So one day he had started art class, and I went to pick him up at art class, and he said that he wanted to buy this book about an animal. And I said, okay. And he said, as soon as I find it, because usually it's at a bookstore, and we would, put it on his birthday list or something. And I'm like, oh, you haven't seen it yet? And he said, no. And I said, well, you could just write it yourself. And he said, with a hardcover? And I said, sure. So he came home, he wrote a book, he drew this picture, and he actually illustrated a whole book with just 2 pictures by having us zoom in and crop parts of it out. And then we just had it printed where you do photo books. And then, so we had a couple of those printed. We took it to our library, and we have 2 local libraries that he loves, and he spends hours each week at both of those libraries. And so I took it in. I was just really asking them how to get these made in hardcover less expensively. And the librarian was like, these are very well written. And I was just like, really? Because I'm mom, I love everything that he does. And so I'm like, okay. So we sent one to a publisher, and we got it published.
This once anxious boy has grown to become a strong 28-year-old man with published books on Amazon and library art showings. And at the Columbus Organization, we proudly display his art as one of our signature pieces in the Pennsylvania office.
It's been 9 years. So he just wanted to learn more and wanted to have a job. And I was like, you're really great at art. Why don't we try, an art class? So I took him, but I didn't think that he would stay by himself. It didn't matter where it was. He just, even with an aide with him, he could not stay in something like that, organized class. So I actually sat in the waiting room every week for a few weeks, and then I went out to my car and started sitting out there each week. And then I had a friend who lived close by, so we would drop him off, and I felt like I could be farther away. And it's been 9 years, and he goes and he's able to stay by himself.
Now Jeff wields a palette with infinite colors and a canvas with endless possibilities. With the help of family, providers, and the Columbus organization, Jeff has found meaning and freedom through art. We simply await his next artistic treasure. There are many others just like Jeff, young adults who just need a caring, insightful case manager and a person-centered approach to achieve their meaningful life goals. At the Columbus organization, we help people understand the choices they have in the community and select the best options for the individual. We're dedicated to individuals with intellectual or developmental challenges, empowering you or your loved one to realize your meaningful life goals. For more information, contact us today.